Hockney has this anecdote about where his love of painting came from, and he remembers, in retrospect, his father painting a door and how sensuous experience that was of like painting a door, and also like just the, the continuity of that painted door. What could be more, unassuming than just covering the surface? Like you're not trying to make a figure-ground relationship, you're just covering the surface, So that's as close as to a blank canvas, I think, as you can get. I think I was introduced to David Hockney because I was doing these drawings. I was commuting to school, and a lot of times I'd be stuck in traffic, and I'd literally draw in my car, looking at the back of the truck, like in traffic. And I remember presenting this drawing in critique, and my teacher said, it looks kind of like David Hockney. And he was interested in the quotidian aspect of that it was actually something that I experienced, In the 90s, when I started to work with logos, popular imagery, but like fragments of popular imagery. And I think I was interested in fragments because I didn't necessarily want the symbol, I wanted the experience of the symbol. I realized that I didn't necessarily need the image. I didn't need the logo. I mean, I guess the logo was a form of figuration, right? It's a form of illustration. I had done that enough, I had worked in that mode for about 10 years that I could just present the phenomenology of the symbol without the symbol itself. The striations that you feel, like even from this distance, from like 8 feet, they affect your optical experience of the pieces. So even though they're very sharp, delineated lines, there's a vibration that addresses your body. And the brushstroke is there, but it's really understated, and it's there to support the phenomenological hit. There's a great term that William Carlos Williams has in relation to his poem, and he calls it the variable foot. And for him, the variable foot was connecting how everyday language is spoken, like between people, and like the rhythms of everyday language, like the vernacular. So this is really key to the work I'm doing now because it's all about intervals. It's all about uneven intervals and how the uneven interval translates the phenomenology of the everyday. And this is why I think it's important for me to be painting right now, that I'm doing these as paintings, because for one, the presumption of painting is like this transcendental plane that anything can happen. And you can play with that. Like for me, it's not like an end game to kind of, do a parody of painting, but it's really to play with the transcendental limit of the assumption of that virtual plane, and then bring it like really back, way back into your face with a phenomenological address. The generic operation is an operation of like towards mutual recognition. And I think that was the initial impulse in me adopting like the logos, because it was a shared language. Positing the generic really depends upon the viewer to pick up on tabula rasa. I'm extending this generic hand, and I think it takes a certain leap of faith to shake that hand, I do like to think of painting as an exhausted medium, but I think of the cycle of exhaustion as a cycle of experience, and then you get to the point of exhaustion, then you begin again. So for me, painting is extraordinarily rife with possibilities, because if it's at this point of complete exhaustion, then the sky's the limit.